Hello, hello, beautiful person watching this. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome back to another Slay the Spire Ascension 20 Defect run. On this channel, I put my recorded wins with some commentary and general discussion about this beautiful game that we play. So as you can see here, I actually just opened my game and turned the record on here. And I do win the first run, so very pleased with that. Getting more consistent and can win more often just right out the gate, get my video for the day. Very cool. And while I'm taking a moment here in the beginning, I just want to say I appreciate all the support I've received so far. Some very, very kind words that I cannot express how much they mean to me. And of course, that sub number going slowly upwards, despite no Twitter, no streaming, nothing like this. Just posting and the algorithm doing its thing. So if you have been a regular enjoyer of my content, definitely please drop a subscribe, as I'm sure you would need to do that anyway if you are watching all my videos, and boy does it help a lot when you are starting out here, as I am. And for a treat for my fans here, I have a nice claw run for us today. And we're going to be seeing some very fortunate things here, of course. Not every single thing, but all the things we needed to go right do go right for us to win here, which is great. And so, right off the bat, took the lose some max health for a rare relic and received Thread Needle, giving us 4 plated armor. Boy, is that an excellent relic to find on floor 0. It's really, really good, as the fights tend to not really be balanced around the fact you have essentially 4 additional block per turn. And so it makes especially the first 3 fights, but also the hard pull fights, generally speaking, much easier. And take a beam cell on floor 1. We just need some attack damage, of course. And hopefully we'll find a real attack soon here, something like a ball lightning or a power driver or something like that. Whiffing here, sadly. Gotta take a leap as the best card here in the early game. On floor 2, leap is a perfectly fine block card, better than a defend plus even. And I considered going left there instead of taking my highlighted path for an extra question mark, but I decided that, especially with this Thread Needle, I'm totally fine taking a couple more hard pull fights. And of course, hallway fights give you card awards, which are really important to make your deck better in this early part of the game. And we find a claw. Tempest is also here, but there's claw here, and I think Tempest is a bit early here. We don't have any focus, we don't have any way to gain energy. So Tempest is basically just playing 3 copies of Zap in one turn, or however many copies of Zap you want to play. But take the claw instead. We do have a beam cell already. It seems pretty good. And we get a card remove here, get to remove a strike, taking our first damage of the run. And a pretty chill, hard fight here. The Fungi Beast plus Lice. And it wasn't even attacking us on turn 1, that's very kind of it. So 0 damage yet again, very nice. And then we're offered our second claw, and there we go. So we are officially a claw deck. I'm leaning into this very heavily. I can upgrade a beam cell here, giving us the extra turn of vulnerable, which is going to be huge. Essentially making sure we can vulnerable it pretty consistently. And earliest possible dead adventure here, floor 7. That is the minimum. And we click and find a shuriken, which is excellent when you're doing beam cell claw, as every time you play 3 attacks in 1 turn, you will gain 1 strength for the rest of the combat. So we're very happy to see that, of course. It is very nice, but I still keep clicking because we're only doing 2 elites this act, and I think I have the health to spare, so I actually want this golden card reward. But oof, drew a very bad hand there. Didn't find the beam cell very early, and now we're reshuffling without beam cell and claw, which is actually very scary. The bigger problem with that draw order is that when we drew those 4 cards, we then drew another card, reshuffling our deck without all those 4 cards, and that was beam cell, strike, claw, which is that we want those cards against Gremlin Knob. But we still made it through, only taking 1 big hit. Pay the Gremlin Knob tax and move on. I'm going to skip those cards are bad. And we find a shop here. And so there's a Sunder. I'm very interested in the Sunder immediately. Sunder is really good, especially with a beam cell involved. Can do so much damage. And if we can kill the thing, it's essentially a 0 cost, huge attack. Helps with Shuriken as well. And actually remove a defend. Gremlin Knob is still in the elite fight pool here. We didn't actually just fight Gremlin Knob, we fought the Dead Adventurer event. And so the Gremlin Knob can still roll in the elite. And so we're interested in keeping the strike around. We already removed a strike, and so we can kind of equalize it, remove one defend as well. And that way we can more consistently proc Shuriken and have a bit more damage against Gremlin Knob. From now on, though, we'll definitely be moving all the strikes. And Sundial is here. Every third shuffling of our deck will give us 2 energy. Could be good if we can find a way to go infinite or something like this, but at the moment it's not doing a whole lot for us. And now we can take our Cold Snap very comfortably, get our Frost Orbs going. Very nice. And I'm valuing these potions over Power Potion, as Explosive Pot going into an elite can be huge. Even if it's only Gremlin Knob, it's only one enemy, 10 damage for free is still quite good. And it's fast and it's consistent. Echo Form can whiff, you know. Hello World, Heat Sink, Storm, and suddenly we are very sad. And so perfectly getting to the point where one Lightning Orb will kill it if I Explosive Pot and actually rip the Explosive Pot, and it does hit it. That's very nice. So this fight went well for us. Very happy about that. Thread Needle, of course, absolutely cooking in this one. Only took 4, I believe. That was a good fight. We find a Maw Bank, which will give us 12 gold each time we climb a floor until we spend gold at a shop. And take a rebound, I believe that was. Rebounding our Claw or our Cold Snap. Very cool. And I kill the Fat Gremlin first over the Sneaky Gremlin, as even though it's heading for more, the debuff that the Fat Gremlin applies of Frail and Weaken is so brutal, and I can even full block the hit anyway. And then we gotta kill this Shield Gremlin, of course, which will always shield the worst one for you. Absolutely. I could have just killed the Mad Gremlin there, actually, with Strike Claw, unless I had no energy left and I'm being a silly goose right now. So perhaps a mistake, perhaps not. I may have missed that. So not too bad of a fight here against the Gremlin gang. And we found a liquid bronze here, so we can ditch the speed pot. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th recursion I've seen already. It's disgusting. And we do take a Sweeping Beam. Usually kind of a mediocre attack, generally speaking. Doesn't do quite that much damage. It is an AoE effect card, but it's simply not doing enough damage for that to matter usually. But here it draws a card. We have triple 0 cost attacks, which is actually really good to draw the card, and it also helps with the Shuriken. And then when we do have Shuriken stacks, it you know, does even more damage, of course. So it goes well in this deck, I would say. And of course we played our Claws into the shield in order to charge them up while it's sleeping. That way when it wakes up we'll be already having some 7 damage or more Claws. Very happy about that. Unclear if I was meant to play the Zap instead of the Claw in that one turn. But with the Beam Cell involved, it's actually doing 3 extra damage per Claw essentially whenever I charge one up. And so it might actually be better to charge the Claws indeed. Probably inconsequential though, we are way overkilling on this turn, so didn't actually matter. And we find a Horn Cleat, giving us 14 block on turn 2. That's an excellent relic, premium, and it even is right before the Hexaghost, which will be hitting us for 3 times 6 on turn 2 here, nearly full blocking that hit by itself. Very nice. And there's a Turbo and a Rip and Tear here. Rip and Tear is a good attack, and it scales with the Shuriken. But I decided I have enough attacks that are just attacks and nothing else to pretty comfortably go on here. So no need to add more of those. Might want to add Claw or something like that again, but not just a Rip and Tear that all it does is arguably scale nicely with the Shuriken. The randomness of it can be very bad in some fights. No need for that. Going against the Hexaghost. Got 2 strength already. And I value Shuriken over playing Sunder, it seems. I missed like 16 damage there, I think, to play those cards. Hopefully will pay off. Bit questionable though. And we've done it. Very good. And trash versus fission. I'm going to be clicking this fission. And yikes, these rewards are bad. So Runic Dome is obviously the, you know, it's 4th energy, but maybe we don't even need the 4th energy here. And Busted Crown's unpickable. It's terrible. If you're seeing it at the end of Act 2 and your deck can't kill the heart, which how could it if you're at the end of Act 1? I meant to say Act 1. Then you cannot click Busted Crown. It's just, you are so likely to not find good cards and you're going to die. I would say clicking on Busted Crown is the #1 way to throw a run in most situations. And if you find it off boss swap, you are not favored to win anymore. Absolutely, no matter how well you play. You can win, but you are not favored to win, that's for sure. So I take Sacred Bark instead of Runic Dome. I hate clicking Runic Dome. I don't like the feeling of not knowing what my enemy is doing. I know what every fight in the game does, but there are plenty of fights that they could be doing several different options. This was a mistake. I should have hit the middle one that was buffing strength instead of the right one there. Whoops. And yeah, we are not doing well against the birds here. Could have considered keeping Liquid Bronze last act and using the Focus Pod instead in order to deal with this fight in particular. Perhaps a Galaxy Brain player would have done this. Using Liquid Bronze against Hexaghost seems so obvious, but if you don't need to use it, then, and you also don't have a solution for birds, then maybe that is a actually good decision. It's not one I'm ever going to make probably, but something to consider. Did I have lethal there? If a Lightning Orb was in the front there, I just missed lethal. I think I was second though. I think Frost Orb was in the front, in which case I did not miss lethal. And Auto Shields is here. We're definitely lacking block, and I have a lot more respect for Auto Shields lately than I used to, for sure. 1 energy to block for 11. Yes, it has the downside that you can't use it when you've already gained block, but most of the time, that's fine. And you have to do a little bit of finagling for it, perhaps. So here, saved me 8 health. That's very good. Made it through. And some good cards here. We don't really have enough draw to support Recycle or Turbo yet, I would say. There's a Darkness Plus, and we do need orbs because we have this Fission. And I'm planning on upgrading the Fission, of course, so the Dark Orb doesn't go to waste, but it's a bit far away at the moment. And I'm considering Apparitions. I don't love it here. The Apparitions having to be played gets in the way of playing 3 attacks in 1 turn and drawing the claws and whatnot. So perhaps not good enough. Take a Relic. Seems good. Now we get a Calipers, which means instead of losing all of our block at the start of our turn, we'll only lose 15 block. Absolutely worthless right now. We cannot gain enough block for that to matter. But over time, Defect may be able to generate so much focus and Frost Orbs that they are gaining more than 15 block a turn, passively. And then they can make great use out of that, essentially gaining infinite block. So, it is a for later kind of relic, to be sure. So we've got this one down to 9. And so this is a huge mistake, actually. I can only play this Sunder if I Sunder the right one there, right? So I should have played Sunder on the right one there, and then clawed to the left one. And this normally wouldn't be too consequential, but I actually am just short of lethal here. And that is disastrous. I'm actually taking 14 damage for that. So, ouch. Down to 6 health because I didn't sunder the middle one there. It's just like, there was this like thought of like, oh, I'm way overkilling it. That's stupid, but it cost a 0, and it was only playable if I use it on that one. So of course you're meant to place under there. Whoops. And so I find Book of Stabbing. Luckily, I know I'm kind of in peril right now, so I rip both potions against this Book of Stabbing. The plan is simple: kill it as fast as possible before it starts hitting me for 35. Ideally, we live this turn and then kill it next turn. Or this turn. That'd be great. Perfect. So yeah, 0 damage. Very good. Did find a liquid bronze, which was really, really good for that fight, of course. And Bottle Lightning is here. I just found a Cool-Headed, which seems like the only reasonable card to bottle. And it's not amazing, but it's fine. Like, better than not bottling it, probably. And I can upgrade it later, so essentially I'll start every fight by spending 1 energy to draw 2 cards and getting a Frost Orb, which will help for Fission. And then we find the Potion Seller event really insane with Sacred Bark, and find the Fairy in a Bottle. And then we also found Meat on the Bone, healing us for 12 whenever we end a fight with 12, half health or less. And that is a incredibly fortunate series of events there. A very, very scary start to the act where nearly died to Triple Cultist, and then suddenly we are looking really good. Pretty much guaranteed to make it to the act now with those potions and that relic. So, very happy about that. And I realized I should have actually rebounded the Cultist, because the Sunder by itself would have killed the bird, of course. And Chosen doing the nightmare pattern here. Hex into vulnerable into 31 on turn 3. That's definitely brutal. You hate to see it, but we made it through. More trash here, sadly. Reprogram doesn't really work the way you want it to with Claw. It's kind of like every Claw you play increases your strength by 2, right? So why would I spend 1 energy and a card to gain 1 strength? I have to upgrade it. I really want to upgrade Fission already anyway, and then there's other cards I need to upgrade as well. So it's not good enough. Reprogram simply sucks, and I hate it. And I've tried to build it, and I don't get it either. I think it's just not my jam. And unfortunately, Hornclay going off here on the turn, it isn't attacking us. Of course, unlucky there. If it had attacked me last turn, that would have been very good for us, but now we're going to lose Fairy. Losing Fairy isn't too bad. It heals us quite a lot because of the Sacred Bark, and we open up a potion slot for more good Sacred Bark potions. But Snake Plant absolutely destroying us here. We've taken so much damage to this guy. Ouch. And Third Claws here. You know I'm clicking on that. Scrape is also here, but that's not happening yet. Anyway. And Library is here. That's excellent. And some good looking cards here. Electro and Core Surge are both here. Equilibrium's here. Charge Batteries, like, not getting picked here. There's a 4th Claw also. Compile Driver also there. But I take Skim, as we have so much 0 cost attacks, and we desperately need the draw. I am very confident that that was correct, despite how strange it looks to not take Electro. So, like, we're walking into Gremlin Leader after not taking Electro, right? Seems very awkward. But boy, are we going to be happy we had the Skim, I promise. So we really need to kill this wizard, of course. It's going to hit us for a billion this turn. And auto shields actually doesn't work because our calipers, I think, gained us 7 block this turn. A little bit awkward, but it's fine. We would love to just play Rebound Strike anyway. So if I didn't have any block, I would play auto shields instead of zap, of course. And here's a good turn. Skim is bottom card, play the Sunder, then Fission, draw the Skim. And now I realize I draw Rebound Claw, I can Rebound the Claw, then Skim, then play the Claw again. So that's a huge turn, of course, and we're gonna win now. Without the Skim, it would have been a pretty awkward turn there. I find a Do Doll, and a Go for the Eyes plus. Excellent card there. Allowing us to apply Weaken, also for 0 energy. Great with the Shuriken plan we're doing. And Do Doll gives us 1 strength per curse in our deck. Of course, Ascension 10 players and up will always have 1 curse, so it's essentially Vajra at worst. If you're playing below Ascension 10, you are extremely sad to see that relic. It literally does nothing. But yeah, it becomes quite good once you got the Ascender's Bane going. And we are against Collector. I'm considering, like, do I Fission here or not? I could save the Fission for a later turn when minions are alive and have a big turn there. Whereas this turn, it's not hitting us and it's not doing anything particularly bad, so using the Fission here is a little bit questionable, but I also thought it was too slow not to. And I'm going to have to use Flex Pot here, of course, to kill a minion, as not killing one outright is a bit too slow. There may have been a world where I could point everything at Collector and kill it fast enough, but that seems absolutely maniacal to me. We're going to get debuffed. Drew the Skim on the Sundial turn, that's very good. I was hoping for Claws. So I kind of changed my mind. I was gonna draw with Skim, but I decided to play Darkness Plus again to charge this Dark Orb in the front and make another Dark Orb. And Dark Orbs can be a way out here, also. Supplemental damage for these Claws. Claws by themselves might not quite get there before we die. They'll always get there eventually as they keep scaling, but can we do it before Collector actually kills us, is the question. Dual cast again would be good. Whiffed. And I have to do math here. I'm blocking for 4 plus 1 plus 12. That's 17, which puts me at 42 health, which just outblocks Collector here. Very good. And then I can get out. Cold Snap's going to evoke the Dark Orb. Very nice. So by the skin of our teeth, we are through Collector. Very scary, but we've done it. Thank God. And the Darkness Plus that we took kind of randomly actually really helped there. Very nice. Of course, it's always good in boss fights, right? The Darkness Plus. And Coffee Dripper is pickable now that we have this meat on the bone to heal us. So it can take that 4th energy finally, look for more Skims, and start drawing our whole deck over and over and playing a billion Claws. The dream. So gotta go right, of course. That is the super elite still. We never did that. And then I can get at least a 2 elite path if I head left afterwards. And we really want that shop. This mob bank has been cooking the whole Act 2. We have 682 big ones right now. It's absolutely massive. And managed to kill that one. Only took 2, I believe it was. The Spiker. And now we just gotta chill, make a Dark Orb or a Lightning Orb, and kill this one. Ooh, Courser's gonna do 13 damage. Might play that. Seems good. And we've done it. Some trash here, sadly. Could consider Ball Lightning, I guess, but it's really late for that. Sweeping Beam is also there, but also a bit late for that. Looking for better draw than that now. And we get the Duplicate Shrine. I do have a run, another Claw run, I think my first Claw run I uploaded, where I took I had a Bias Cognition Plus in my deck and found the Duplicate Shrine, and I clicked on Skim instead. That was absolutely insane. But this time I don't have Bias Cog in my deck, and we really need draw. And I think it's correct to click Skim yet again. So I do in fact click Skim. And we are eventually going to be super happy that we have that, of course. Wrong order. Should have drawn with Skim first. Missed the beam cell. Basic card game principle. If you are going to draw the cards anyway, you should draw first, as the cards that you draw may change the order and or what cards are played at all. More trash. Go for the ice pluses here again, but I don't want another one. We need better cards for the Act 3 and 4 right now. We need more focus. We need more Frost Orb. Glacier will be excellent. And I actually do potion against the Jawworms here. They're very spooky. Yeah, we'd love to see a Bias Cog. We'd love to see Defrag Plus and Glacier and stuff like this. Getting a bit picky at this point. I can kill the worm. Go for the eyes, the middle one for good measure. Doesn't even seem necessary though. So May can get through these first few fights comfortably without even having this shop yet is a nice sign. I think Darklings would have done a lot of damage to us here, but somehow we've made it through these Jawworms without taking any damage. I think they were very nice to us. They could have all hit us on turn 1. And Compile Driver is fine. It draws cards as an attack for Shuriken. And here we go. 776 gold and a great shop here. Clockwork Souvenir gives us an artifact to charge. It's good anyway, and we may find Bias Cog, which would make it insane, reducing the focus minus. There's also a Data Disc, giving us 1 innate focus. That's excellent, of course. And Apotheosis is here. And I consider buying a Sacred Bark Potion of Capacity for 4 orb slots and saving it for the heart, but that might be a bit ambitious, and it also costs 80 gold, which is a lot. And so not interested in that. So I also buy a Cool Headed. That was a pretty good card. Now that we need the draw, it's going to be upgraded with Apotheosis. Seems good. And do I card remove a strike? I sure do. Could have considered waiting on that till the next shop, but seems fair enough. And upgrade Apotheosis, of course. So now we are officially an Apotheosis deck. Upgrade your whole deck when you play it. That's very nice, of course. And very spooky fight here. Probably the scariest fight of the whole run, other than Act 4, is this Nemesis, which is a super elite Nemesis. It's going to have intangible, or excuse me, it's going to have Metallicize 8, and also is intangible every other turn. And that's a bit awkward for us because we can only really do damage when we draw claws. And if we draw the claws on the intangible turn, then we do no damage. And that's kind of a disaster. So we're going to need to draw well here to win. There is definitely a world where we are dead here. And indeed, it's actually burning us twice before our first reshuffle. So we have 10 burns in this 34 card deck right now, and that's such a disaster, actually. It's really a miracle that I didn't die with this order that Nemesis is doing here. Not only that, it's also not hitting us for 45, which would have chunked us quite hard anytime it did that. We cannot block for 45, it's impossible. So yeah, very, very fortunate Nemesis fight here to make it out alive at all. Absolutely. And yet it has not hit us for 45 a single time. It has not done it. We do have Weak Pot, of course. Could have used that. But yeah, it's being very nice. And we even get to make it out here. So only took 1 from Super Elite Nemesis with this deck. That's kind of crazy. And we do find Bias Cog from it as well. So possibly the nicest Nemesis has ever been to me in my life. Certainly a world where this run died right there. And Darklings are here to ruin my day. Auto Shields doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Yikes. I played anyway. And gonna be taking a lot here. Perfectly down to half health though, that's nice, as we can now heal with the Meal on the Bone. Meal on the Bone, an excellent premium relic, of course. On the Defect, you tend to take damage while you're getting set up and then become unkillable. And if you can avoid dying by having the sustain, that makes the run so much more winnable. I could skim into Fission. And now this Dark Orb will kill the middle one, as it always hits the lowest health enemy, and then hope to Fission into some more damage afterwards. Could also just go for the Eyes of the left one right now, and then Cool-Headed, and then the left one would die instead. Perhaps that was correct, and just in case Fission whiffs and I couldn't block enough somehow. But I could always just pass, and I'm never taking the damage. But the problem with passing is that then the right one would respawn, and it could be awkward to get out. So, glad I got out there. And another recursion. It's like the 10th one I've seen. Take a turbo finally. We have Apotheosis now, so we are drawing so many cards with the skims now. And yeah, very happy about that. Finally can take a turbo. Take, oh, 0 actually, never mind. Thank you, plated armor. Yep. I should have skimmed first because Sunder was there. I didn't, of course I didn't know I was going to draw it, but I should have known that I could have drawn it and then drawn first, I think. Rebounding the skim was greedy, and now I actually can't kill this Exploder, which is quite bad. Yet again, Meat on the Bone is going to save me, but like, if I didn't have this Meat on the Bone, these weird misplays where I take more damage than I should could have mattered quite a lot. Also never found self-repair though, and that would have been good. I think there was one at the shop, but after I already had the Meat on the Bone, so I didn't feel like I needed it anymore. But self-repair is excellent. You do the Echo Form self-repair thing and gain so much health. And Seek is here, gonna buy that. We have Apotheosis in our deck, and a Bias Cog, and a Core Surge, so those very key pieces are gonna be very nice to seek for. And we drew the Bias Cog and the Core Surge on turn 1 against Spire Growth. Spire Growth applies Constrict to you, which makes you take extra damage. And being able to dodge that makes this fight completely trivial. So once again, Clockwork Souvenir absolutely cooking. Clockwork Souvenir loves this fight. Get the Beam Cell. It's trying to constrict us again, but it's too slow. I actually reshuffled there for Streamline, that was, or for Sundial, that was very good. Streamline Plus is on my screen. And I ditched Weak Pot for Fire Pot. Actually kind of questionable. Could have saved the Weak Pot for the Heart, perhaps, and applied essentially 2 full cycles worth of Weaken to it. Turns 2, 3, 5, 6, all could have been weakened. So a bit strange, but that is a 40 damage Fire Potion, and I was interested in having that just in case we need to kill Repto or something, I guess. Trying to draw towards our good cards here while still full blocking. I took Beam Cell with Seek because I needed space in my hand, so I had to get a 0-cost card. And managed to full block, and now we can play the good cards. Ah, all the good cards. And now with 3 Frost Orbs with the Spice Cog Plus in play, we are finally netting block with Calipers. Can actually start gaining big block sometimes. So got there, and finally some good cards. There is Defrag versus Buffer. I think I think Defrag is better, but I considered taking Buffer for sure. Defrag not able to be upgraded, sadly, neither is Buffer. But notably, Defrag makes more block number with our Frost Orbs, which is great with our Calipers, so we definitely are taking that. And I actually rebound the Cold Snap. Interested in playing more Cold Snap so I can outblock this giant head. Debatably should not have played the Lightning Orb there. Could have just had 3 Frost Orbs and let him chill. Since I want the damage from the orbs, and I think I have enough block. Pile Driver getting better, of course, is a good reason to play different orbs. Ew, bad hand. The vibe fighting Giant Head yourself versus watching it is way different. It always feels scarier when you're fighting it than it actually is. And Ice Cream is here. Very cool. We also got the boot I didn't mention, sorry. So the boot increases any unblocked attack damage we deal up to 5. If it's less than 5, and that's pretty much useless here. The first claw will deal 5 instead of 4, and other than that, it's not doing a whole lot. And we also found Ice Cream, which is pretty cool. Whenever we don't spend energy on our turn, we will retain it throughout the fight. And that means that we can choose to not play cards like Strike or Defend and instead save our energy. That way we can have a big skim turn. And Fire Pot coming in handy here. Actually very good, killing one of the birds outright. So there we go, both birds down. Only have played 1 power, it seems. Very cool. So unusually low amount of powers for a Defect deck here, for sure. And that's going to help us in this fight. So I played to go for the eyes before reshuffling. I wanted it back in my draw pile. Interested in playing that card every time I find it. And I think I played Cool-Headed before Fission, which was a huge mistake here. I could have had a Frost Orb right now, which would be good for multiple reasons. And then I just block a lot with Calipers and then pass. I don't care about the Sunder damage right now. Oof, another bad hand. Yeah, this, that play cost me quite a bit there. So should have not played, and Skim was on top, by the way, so I would have been 1 card deeper with the Compile Driver, and then I would have not had that bad turn last turn, because I would have had Skim in my hand. So it did matter. Definitely, if you're about to play Fission, and you already have full orb slots, do not play a card that makes an orb, if it's your only card that makes an orb. First, of course, because that's just a waste. You could have the orb or a refill afterwards. Now we're looking fine. Don't want to play Zap. My Frost Orbs are good. I like them. Auto Shields is now worthless, unfortunately. doing the calipers thing. But that's fine. So now if we saw a recycle, for example, would love to take a recycle now. But when we saw it earlier, it wasn't quite there yet. And seek for apotheosis, fission. Cold snap, then fission. Actually, zap, then fission. Then make a frost orb. That's what I'm talking about right there. Could have played cold snap beforehand, but it wouldn't do anything. We have not enough orb slots. So make the frost orb afterwards. That way we get to actually keep it. And I considered for a moment hitting Deca because I know that I'm going to be playing Go for the Eyes on Deca here, since that's the only one attacking me, therefore the only one that the artifact will actually get removed from. But then I was like, do I send everything at it? And then still no. I want to kill Donu first, as it gives strength. I should actually play the Sweeping Beam. I think I just pass, but the rebound being on top isn't great. I would rather just find Skim faster. Skim happened to be on top there, but that doesn't mean it was correct to leave rebound on top. That's called results-oriented thinking. Something happened to work out doesn't mean that it was the right decision. And more importantly, if you die making the right decision, it doesn't mean you did something wrong. Sometimes you take the highest probability line and it doesn't work out. It happens. Here we go. We're cooking. We have so much energy. With his ice cream. We're not playing the bad cards within reason. And that's allowing us to have huge turns here. Even Sundered. Probably wrong. Spending 3 energy on the Sunder actual energy is questionable with ice cream now. Slowly getting there against Deca here. Boom. We've done it. On to Act 4, thump, Despulsing Dread, you know. You know how it is. And would love some help here against the Heart. Upgrade a Seek. And there's a Loop here, and Loop is excellent to block against the Heart, as you would love to have the block at the start of each turn so you can actually play cards without taking damage from the Beat of Death. So Loop is going to be really good in that fight if we can put a Frost Orb in the front. You may be surprised that this deck wins from here. I kind of was as well. Considering how this fight goes, it's very surprising, I would say. So this turn, of course, always absolutely terrifying. Take 16. Ouch. And unfortunately, unusually, the spear is hitting us again after hitting us for 10 times 4 here. That's very rare. I didn't even know that could happen, to be honest. And so even though normally we could just turn around here and actually full block here, we are instead taking another 18-ish. And that's absolutely terrifying, down to 18 health. So all of our good cards at the bottom, sadly, except for Bias Cog, of course. Found that early enough. That was good. So we're going to have a great turn here. We can reshuffle, then play Seek. Absolutely. Defrag may have been the wrong card here. It's not doing that much. Maybe another skim was meant to be clicked on. Perhaps. This time I play Darkness to get cards out of my hand. Before efficient. I actually didn't need to though. But I wanted to evoke it anyway for just 6 damage, it seems. I feel like I made a mistake here. I'm interested to see what happens. So, Beam Cell. So I can go Rebound, Sunder on the Spear, and then Defend. And I am taking 72 here. And then also plus 8 from the burn, so 80. So I need to block for 80. I'm at 68 right now. I can defend for 8. And that's only taking 4, which is not bad. But I actually play the strike for good measure. I was trying to kill it, I think. I also could have used Strength Pot, but that's good against the heart, so I wanted to save it. In hindsight, I should have actually just used it right there, because it would have saved me quite a bit of health. And yep. And it wasn't that much health. 18 health, right? I'm already really low, and I'm gonna have Kneel the Bone heal me. It's just a tough fight. It's a really tough fight, right guys? Brutal fight. And we find Emotion Chip. If we take damage whenever we take damage, then the next turn, the Emotion Chip will trigger the passive of all of our orbs. Possibly the first time I've ever had that in one of my runs on here. Pretty rare. And so I cleverly dual cast a Lightning Orb to put the Frost Orb in the front and then play Loop. And I found the Apotheosis, so this is looking good. We're going to have the good block here, 20 block. And we managed to block the Vulnerable because of our Artifact charge, of course. So we're only taking 45. That's very, very important. Clockwork Souvenir is exceptional in this fight. It literally blocks for 22 damage right here. That's crazy. So looking for Bias Cog. I already have the Core Surge in my hand. So this is a great turn as well. And I'm able to play these cards thanks to Horncleat and Loop, of course. And I could have used the Block Pot as well, but I'd love to save that for when I actually need it. To block the damage from the heart, of course. And now 2 times 15, already full blocking. Loop is absolutely cooking now. It's going to do 20 per turn for us. And that's not going to last. We are pretty low. And eventually the heart will be hitting us hard enough that it'll go through this amount of block. Absolutely. So we're going to have to kill it pretty quickly here, make sure we're drawing as many cards as we can, and keep playing those claws. Claw is law, after all. I decided not to play the last strike. I played the other one for the Shuriken proc, but not spending the energy on the last strike there, not important enough compared to saving it with Ice Cream. And we're full blocking, and just pass. Taking 60. And we want to get through these artifact charges so we can go for the eyes again. That would be very good. And I decide to rebound a Cold Snap. Interested in making more Frost Orb. Of course. Consider playing Darkness for a Compile Driver. I do. In fact. Sadly, try and go for the eyes on the wrong turn here. And I do Sunder because it gets it below 400 health, which is an important threshold there. Now we can, in theory, kill it in 2 turns. Unlikely, though, with the amount of damage we're dealing. But, yeah, we're getting there. Very nice. Finally, rip the Fission. This is a mistake. If I'm playing Skim, don't have to rebound that. That was kind of crazy. So I can play Cool Headed, then dual cast a Lightning Orb again. I should have just played the, if I had it in my hand, I should have just played Cool Headed first, though. Why not? And I actually did a lot of damage, so the efficient turn was pretty good. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that Frostar was in the front yet again, so it loops for me. And ouch, taking 90 damage. Gotta find something here. Actually, we don't have to find something. I still have the block pot, so I would have been fine. But we did find a Power Driver. I can go Claw, Darkness. Ooh, found the Skim. It's GG's. We have done it. And I, of course, let Claw finish the job. Man of the hour. So in just under 50 minutes, we've arrived with our Claw deck. A huge Maw bank there. Sacred Bark was pretty cool, although not particularly amazing, I would say. Meal of the Bone was absolutely clutch in that Act 2. That was looking very brutal for us. And we had a huge shop that had the Clockwork Souvenir and Data Disc at it. That was excellent. And yeah, just a pretty cool Claw run where we had just the right amount of things go right for us and made it through to the end. If you're still here, how have you not subbed? How have you not liked the video? Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, have a beautiful day.